So today we're going to be going over 10 fragrance gems that I'm still going to be wearing 20 plus years from now, as long as they're still making these and I still have some in my collection. You know, I take a look back on what I was wearing when I first started out, and a lot of those fragrances I am still wearing to this day, and I still recommend highly on the channel. And so I kind of want to go over some that I think I'm going to continue to wear and to recommend in the future for a reason, and that's because they're really, really good. I don't believe these to be scents that are just average and they're just okay and they're going to lose complete relevance and become worthless in a couple of years. I do think all of these had the potential to hold up for years and years to come. And even if they're not getting a ton of hype in several years from now, for me personally, I enjoy them so much that I'm still going to be giving them a lot of attention. So I will provide links to these down below. Anytime I talk about price point in videos, it's always going to be a discounter, so make sure you are shopping at discounters. You can save a lot of money and it makes this hobby much more enjoyable. Also, I have a mailing list you can sign up to where you can get some of the best fragrance deals daily right to your inbox. If you want to have a chance to get some rare, hard to find, and discontinued things, sign up for that. And you can also check back to the community tab on a daily basis where I'm also posting those same deals on a daily basis. Let's get things kicked off with a super unique DNA that I don't really see talked about nearly as much as I think it should be. It's Hugo Boss the scent, and in particular, I'm talking about Absolute. I don't know if you could see it right there. Although you could go for your favorite, just about any one. Some are harder to get than others. The scent Intense has been really hard to find lately. Private Accord has also been sold out a lot. Absolute is one you could still get relatively easily, and it's also one of my favorites. It's all about the manica fruit, the vetiver, and the ginger in this one. That manica fruit is what makes this DNA so unique. It makes it stand out so much, and it smells so nice. Really is such a different twist on your typical men's scent. This one is great for cooler weather seasons, so right now is the perfect time to be wearing something like this. It's kind of comforting, kind of cozy, kind of warm, and one that I've been wearing a lot lately, along with some of the other flankers, and in general, one I'm going to be wearing for years to come. Okay, moving on, we have BVLGARI Man in Black. So I remember first getting this one in, kind of thinking, oh, it might be a little bit redundant, you know, you get the comparisons to Spice Bomb often, but when I tried it and started wearing it, you know, for the first few times, I quickly realized that there are some more differences than similarities. Mainly being this one, while it does still have a spiciness overall, it's much more smooth. It's a little bit more rich. It has kind of a rum, boozy accord in here. And essentially the way I describe Man in Black is if you wore Spice Bombs in your late teens, early 20s, and that was kind of your scent to wear to college and to parties and stuff, then you wear Man in Black 10 years later when you're grown up, you're settled down, and you have a career. It's more mature, it's a little bit more refined, and for some people would be the better option. For me, I love the differences that this one has over Spice Bomb. While I do love Spice Bomb, I really love this DNA as well. It's amazing. Real nice tobacco accord in here as well. Nice, you know, kind of juicy booziness that it has, almost a syrupy sweetness to it, and one that I will definitely wear for years to come. Moving over to a niche scent here, one that I have been wearing for quite some time now. It was one of my first, if not, I think it was my first from this brand. You know, it was the one that kind of finally made me jump into the brand, even though at the time I didn't really have the money to be spending on full bottles of the brand. I got into it anyway. From ROJA Parfums, it is ELYSIUM. So being that it was kind of blue fragrance looking, I'm like, all right, I might as well dive in and start off with this one. Be my first ever ROJA, you know. At least I'll have a better chance of getting something that I'm almost certain I'm going to like. And that started an obsession. And to this day, I still wear ELYSIUM all the time in the spring and summer. This is my first original bottle that I bought. And as you can see, maybe it is running very low. Not to be feared. I've got plenty other bottles. I got a couple of the Extrait, couple of the Parfum Cologne. I'm set pretty much for life on this one, which is a good thing because it's not going to go to waste. I'm going to wear this stuff for pretty much an indefinite period, you know, as far as I'm concerned. I love how it smells. I get great performance out of it. It's a great compliment getter. It's just one of those real nice, versatile ones that still does provide something a little bit different and a little bit new to a genre that is already very popular. Kind of tagging along from one summer scent to another, we have a newer release here from Armani. It's Acqua di Gio. This is the Eau de Parfum. So this not re-release, but this reworked version of the Eau de Toilette is a really, really much needed addition to the line, in my opinion. You know, there are a ton of flankers already. I think most would say that there's too many, you know, when you take a look at all of the Acqua di Gios that are out there now. But we never had a true, actual Eau de Parfum follow-up to that EDT until now, and I think it was long overdue. And so, similar thing like I was talking about earlier, where if you wore Acqua di Gio Eau de Toilette when you're growing up in high school, late teens, early 20s, whatever, and now you're much older, you're in your 30s, mid-30s, 40s, you want something more mature and more refined, this Eau de Parfum is the perfect way to go. And it was good timing, you know, 20 years later they come out with it, which I do think it could have been sooner, but whatever. It's just a really nice, mature, refined take on that DNA. You get some of the mineral notes in here, some orange, of course the aquatic notes. I wore this one a ton this summertime. You can already see a little bit of a dent, although this is not my only bottle either. You can see kind of. Took another one with me on vacation as well, so I really got a lot of use out of it, and I can see myself wearing this heavily in years to come. All right, going over to another niche scent here. This will be the last one for this video niche-wise, so we'll try to, you know, my options going forward will be much more affordable generally, but it's Parfums de Marly Layton. So this DNA was one that grew on me so much. You know, I saw the hype at first, and I just kind of avoided it. I, you know, didn't really think I was going to like it all that much, but I was very wrong because I love it. Now, a really good clone to this one is Alharamain Detour Noir. If you ever have the chance to pick it up, I would say to definitely do so. It's about 35 bucks and it's very close. But for me, for all intents and purposes, this DNA is what I'm going to be wearing in years from now, and so I just wanted to feature the original here. But I will definitely be swapping back and forth between a couple clones and the real deal. It just depends on the situation. Ultimately, I love this stuff. It has vanilla, cinnamon, lavender, some cardamom, very sweet, has a little bit of this kind of like minty texture to it, kind of minty menthol feeling that you get in your nose when you smell it. Just really, really a very wearable, nice entry-level niche scent with great quality and great performance. Next up, we have a Chanel. So pretty expensive designer brand, you know, one that you can't get discounted all that often, but still worth looking into. They have some great things, and it's not a Bleu de Chanel, okay? This is probably my next favorite. You know, Bleu de Chanel is probably one of my favorites from the brand, but right next to it in terms of some of my favorite releases from them, it's Chanel Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme. Now this one has orange, it has mint, it has tonka bean. I really like it. You know, it's easy to kind of dismiss. It's easy to take a smell of it and be like, ah, that's just kind of boring and, you know, a little bit lame or whatever it may be. But, you know, I've spent a lot of time with this scent. I have a lot of it as well, multiple bottles, some old ones like when it was the Eau de Toilette Intense, and then the new ones, the Eau de Parfum. So I've tried a whole bunch of different versions, and ultimately I like all of them. I think any version you can get is the way to go, as long as you're not paying a ton of money over retail. And it's just a DNA that is so easy to have, so easy to wear. You get your money's worth out of this one when you do buy it, because you're able to wear it in a lot of situations. And I just like it. I like that mixture of a little bit of a green freshness, but then some sweetness, a zesty mintiness, a creamy orange sweetness. You know, just a really nice mixture, and one that I've worn a lot, and I will definitely continue to. I think just about every guy should have this stuff. Next up, Tom Ford Noir Extreme. This is the new Parfum. So this will be the version that I take with me, you know, in general. If I were to get rid of a Tom Ford Noir Extreme and someone were to ask me, okay, do you want the Eau de Parfum or the Parfum? I would take the new Parfum. And if you are in the market, I would tell most of you guys to skip the EDP and go with the Parfum. Now, the main difference will be performance. This one performs better, so I've seen a lot of issues where people don't get the best performance out of the Eau de Parfum. I'm one of those people. It isn't great on my skin. It's not horrible, but at the price point, you do tend to expect a little bit more. The other thing is going to be this one has a more prominent leather accord, which I really, really like a lot, and it gives it a little bit more of a masculine smell. over the eau de parfum, which doesn't have a whole lot of a masculine edge to it. And so I do think that's an improvement as well. Like there's a little bit of suede in here too, kind of along with that leather. It's just a really well-received flanker in terms of still complementing that original DNA, but truly beefing it up and making it a parfum and just improving it overall. Next up, we technically do have a clone, and this is a clone that I wear over the original pretty much 9 and 9.9 times out of 10. You know, I have a partial of the original because the only way I could afford it when I got it was to decant the rest out. Okay, so Moustache Eau de Parfum by ROCHAS, and this is a clone of Yves Saint Laurent Tuxedo. I've shown my bottle a couple of times before. It's pretty low, and again, it's just because I just decanted it all out when I got it, basically, and I was able to break even on the bottle, and that was the only way I could actually justify having it. And so anymore, you know, I could wear out of that bottle, and when it ran out, I could buy another one, right? I could do that, but I don't really have a need to when this is already so close. It has vanilla, it's got pink pepper, a little bit of benzoin in here, and just some of that typical patchouli that you get from Tuxedo itself and the ambergris type of thing. This DNA is just so unique. There's nothing else out there like it. And again, I'm saying this DNA, obviously this is a clone, this is not the originator, but this DNA in general is so different. It's not a blue fragrance, it's not a citrus, it's not a tobacco scent. There's just nothing else quite like this type of fragrance composition, and I really like it for that reason. Really a nice way to stand out. Running down to the end, we have a Dolce & Gabbana. You know, this is a very personal scent for me. It's one that I wear in the evenings all the time, and it just might be my scent of the night this evening. Just had a shower and gonna start winding down. Time to pick something. Maybe this will be it. We'll see it, kind of between a couple of other things. But it's Dolce & Gabbana, the one eau de parfum. It's all about the tobacco, cardamom, and amber with a little hint of grapefruit off the top, just a tiny bit. And as you can see, again, this was my first ever bottle that I purchased pretty close to 5 years ago, I believe. And yeah, not a whole lot in there. Again, I have many more bottles and others that I've worn out of as well. So if you were to combine this with those, I've finished a full bottle officially. This one just has a little bit left. I love it. I love it so much. One of my favorites, you know, and it's a scent that does not have the best performance. It's not one that I wear out generally. It's only going to be used evenings hanging out or like date nights, that sort of thing, where I just don't need or want performance. So I do get a lot of use out of it in those situations. I really like it for those reasons. And again, I've already worn it so much, and I know for a fact that's never going to change. This DNA, again, for me personally, is just a masterpiece, and I love everything about it. Kind of like this last one here, we have Jean Paul Gaultier Ultra Male. So this has pear, it's got cinnamon, tonka bean sweetness in here, some kind of lavender freshness, you know, a little hint of an aromatic nature, just like the original Le Male, but it's still much different than the original Le Male because of that overwhelming sweetness and that pear fruitiness off the top. I can even smell it off the atomizer here, which doesn't have a cap, obviously. And that's how you know you have something strong, because generally fragrances like this, why I dislike them that don't have a cap, is because you can't pull off the cap and smell it. But this one you can. That's saying something. So this is definitely not going to be for everybody. You know, I always give that disclaimer when I talk about it. You know, people might think, oh, what's so bad about it? Nothing bad about it, but it's very sweet. And if you're not used to stuff like this, it will take you off guard, possibly in a bad way. So be careful going into this one. You know, for beginners that are starting out with freshies, you really should think twice about this and sample it first. But if you're already accustomed to sweet scents, you know, if you like the 1 million elixirs and even Invictus, you know, which is a different type of sweetness, but still you're used to the overwhelmingly sweet kind of bubblegummy scents, you would have a better chance of getting down with this one. All I know is that for me personally, I've already been wearing it for years, and I know that will continue. I love wearing it in the fall and winter time. It just, for me, it's really fun to wear. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. 10 fragrances that I'm going to be wearing in 20 years from now, so long as they're still making them, and or at least I have enough of them backed up if they were to be discontinued to where I can still wear them. I also chose not to feature any already discontinued fragrances in this video just because I want it to be fair for you guys to be able to go pick some of these up if you're excited about them, right? And, you know, if I were to list off a couple, it would be like Bulgari Aqua Atlantique, I guess is the one I can think of off the top of my head that I have a ton of backup bottles of that I will continue wearing. Like I'll wear that this summer in 2023, even though they're not making it anymore. So it's things like that that I still will wear that I already have. I just didn't want to feature though because you guys can't get them. So I think that's going to do it for me. Again, links will be down below. Deals will be in your email if you sign up at the link down below, completely free. Or if not, you don't want to do that, perfectly fine. You can check the community tab on a daily basis and make sure you're getting all those deals. A whole bunch of rare stuff comes into stock often, and I'm able to catch it and post about it so you guys can get it as well. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.